As soon as my cell phone service catches up. There we go. And with this, it'll give you cache name, GC code, difficulty and terrain ratings, size, and it'll tell you how far away it is and give you kind of a general direction that you would have to travel. And then the one next to that, oops. So then if you want to take and select that cache, just like on the map, you just take it, click on it, and it's going to be the same information. And if you want to take and navigate to that cache, you're going to take and click your menu button on your phone, and where it says compass or navigate. If you prefer to take and have the compass view instead of a map, you can click on that, and it'll bring that up. If you prefer to have the map for navigation, you can get that. You can zoom right in. I'm sorry, I'm not getting very good cell phone coverage in here for some reason. There it goes. And as with the geocaching.com app, you can have the satellite view. You can zoom right in. Once you've found the cache, logging the cache is pretty straightforward as well. There's a button that says log visit. You can click on that. And there's a button for which type of log type you want to enter. There's also an option in the settings where you can put in templates. So I have on here bushwhacking unnecessarily since 2006. That's just our little saying or whatever. And I have the date and the time, and then how many caches we found, or what find that is. And once you have your log type done, you can just click Submit Log. You also have the option of submitting it or saving it offline, and then you can submit it at a later time.
For the find number on that, is that like it automatically calculates it for you when you are logged in?
Yes.
You're logged in as yourself, but
yep.
So then it will...
It automatically updates it for you with every cache you find.
Cool.
Because you log into geocaching.com in the settings of the app, and then it automatically adds that. You have to add that as a template.
So, I've been curious when I've seen people have their numbers, and I'm like, that seems like a lot of work to keep track of. So it's like, oh, it's automatic.
Yeah, it'll do it automatically. You know, once you get it, and all it is it's just a template that you do in the settings. There was another question. I thought. You also, if you drop a coin or a trackable, you can also do that from this menu. So you can have it visited or drop it off. that's for the nearby. Another feature that in CGO is that you can actually store pocket queries on the app. And I have found that to be really useful if you're, for example, going into an area where there's limited cell phone coverage. We recently just got back from out west, and up in the mountains we had no cell phone coverage, but each night at the hotel I would download a pocket query, and then I would have the cache information.
I used the Geo app, and one thing I liked about it is I could have these pocket queries. In fact, I did it from a non-premium account. I could download them all and actually download them on there. Somehow it goes to the internet and put them all and save them. I thought that was pretty cool about it.
But it's not.
There's nothing to do with pocket queries.
Right. Right. You can save them from the nearby. I believe, is that what you're talking about? Or
I forgot exactly because I have it in my Android profile. I haven't had it for about a half year, but there was a way you could tell it to get the closest so many, and it literally downloads, goes to the internet somehow, pulls it
right.
Without doing a pocket query.
Yeah, that's what you can do with nearby. You can actually, the nearby caches, you can actually save them.
Yeah, I mean,
on the phone.
It would take a while to do.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi because the data networks are slow.
Yeah, it does take a while to do it that way.
I mean, it would run for like maybe I do the closest couple hundred, and it would take like 15 minutes to half hour or something.
Definitely a nice feature though, if you're going to be in.
Yeah, it's very helpful if you're going to be where there's no cell phone coverage. The next feature on here is search. And with this, you can take a search for caches by coordinates. You can actually use a physical street address to find caches. So if if you want to put your home address, you can do it that way. You can search for caches by GC code, by keywords. So if you know part of the name of the cache, you can do it that way. You can search by whether or not a certain user has found that cache. You can also search by who owns the cache. And you can also search for trackables. So if you want to search for a certain TB, you can do that as well. Okay. The any destination, to be honest, I haven't really played with this feature of it too much. How it works is you can take and put a latitude and longitude in, the coordinates in, and then you can tell it to search for caches in a certain direction. So if you wanted caches from these coordinates only going north, you could search for caches just from here going north. And the last feature on here is a filter that you can take and filter by traditional, multi, mystery, etc. All the basic cache types. So, for example, if you only wanted to see traditional caches, you can go click on that. And now when I go nearby, it'll only show traditional caches. If my cell phone cooperates. So now it's only showing traditional caches. The caches that have the little green lines by them, those are caches that I have found. And you can disable the app from showing caches that you have found. in the settings. And to get to settings, you just push your menu key and your settings. Before I go on, this is the part where you can do the signature. So, you just type in the signature that you want, and then where it says date, time, and number, that's where it'll put like the number of the cache you found and the date and the time. Yeah.
Can you have, when you're looking at the map and you're browsing this map, will it display a smiley or something for your finds?
Yes, it will.
It does.
Yep.
Is that automatic?
Yep.
Okay.
And you can also just disable it so that it'll only show caches that you haven't found, which is usually how I have it set up. I just turned it off for now.
But it's nice if you're with new people to be that way.
Right.
Let your newbies hunt for ones you've already
Mhm.
found.
That is true.
Yes.
And then if you want the signature added, in, you have to make sure that you have this insert signature automatically, and then it automatically inserts that into your log. The other things in the settings, you can tell it to either auto-load the long description or not. I usually have it auto-load the long description. You can have it load cache elevation data. You can have it load cache rating from gcvote.com, which is basically just a website that rates caches. I've never really used it. The store cache static maps for offline use. I've avoided using that because it takes a lot of data to do it that way, and it really increases the amount of time it takes to load your caches. The use light skin, you can have this be, instead of the white text on black, you can have it be black text on white, if you prefer that. And then here's where you can exclude own and found caches. And you can also have it exclude disabled caches. You can also have it set trackables to visited. You can save images from logs. And by default, this CGO actually has everything in metric. So you probably want to check, use imperial units so that it's in feet and inches, or feet and miles, instead of being in the metric system, kilometers. The show direction to caches in the list, when that's checked, that gives you that little arrow that points to where the cache is. Map sources, you can select which map source you want, so you can have regular Google Maps or Google Satellite. You can have OpenStreetMap if you want. I usually use Google Satellite though.